So with the season kind of winding down, did you watch a couple weeks ago the Wolves were playing Nuggets on TNT? Did you watch the players only broadcast?
I did not.
It was honestly first of all, it kind of got panned, especially by a lot of Timberwolves fans for just how lazy the coverage seemed. Where like they really didn't do any research going into the game. They just kind of like, oh hey, I know Cat. Let me hear some things I kind of remember about Cat, or kind of remember about Wiggins, or of Jokic, or whoever was on the court at the game. It was in Denver, and they kept criticizing Cat for not being able to carry the Wolves. And this is something, and I know I'm a big Cat defender, but I mean this is something that we all can agree that why is there? I mean there is a ton of hate coming at Cat for how he hadn't quote unquote carried the Wolves anymore. Like he hadn't put the team on his back as much, and that they weren't as competitive in the playoff race. They had a chance there, but they fell apart because Cat can't hold the team together, and he's not this and he's not that. Cat's been playing the best basketball of his career in the second half of this NBA season, and he's molding into the player that the Wolves really thought that he could be when they drafted him number 1 overall. So Karl-Anthony Towns, in the last 12 games, I retweeted this, I think, or at least I liked it on Twitter. What is he shooting from 3 in these last 12 games?
Upwards of 30%.
49%.
Really?
32 of 65. Can you guess what the rest of the team is shooting?
About 30%.
Maybe
less.
27%.
27%.
79 of 294. So, I mean, let's be honest here. If there was a full, healthy team with Covington, with Rose, with Teague, you can maybe make an argument. But this team has been decimated by injuries all year. Covington really only played with the Wolves for a month, at best, before getting hurt. Rose had a good start to the year, but's been kind of battling injuries throughout the second half of the year. And then Teague has also, Teague has been hurt, but he's also just not engaged with the team. If you kind of read between the lines, he's just kind of a guy there. But it's really annoying that Cat is getting ripped by national media. He gets ripped on social media for his inability to carry the Wolves, and this is so unfair because of the stat I just told you. Cat's been playing his best basketball ever, and this Wolves team is, average, maybe a bit above average when they're fully healthy. So, to say the case that maybe Cat could put the team on his back and carry the Wolves.
Covington hasn't played in months.
Exactly. He hasn't played since December. Is that right? Like late December, early January? And it's almost April. And it's really annoying. And then when you also look at Cat's inability to kind of carry the Wolves not only to the playoffs, but even in the playoffs, he laid an egg in the playoffs. I think that's fair to say. But, when you look at the playoff runs of some of the all-time great players, when you look at Kobe, when you look at LeBron, when you look at Michael Jordan, they all didn't really win a title on their... they were huge parts of that team. They were the best players on that team, but they didn't win it by themselves alone. I think that's fair to say. LeBron's first 2 titles, he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. LeBron's second title, he had Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. Or third, sorry. And then, Kobe, Shaq, and then he had the other players around when he won his final one in 2010.
And exactly your point. The first final, the first of the 4 rematch between Golden State and Cleveland was one where it was a healthy Golden State team playing against basically LeBron James and the rest of Cleveland because Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving both missed those finals. And so when you take away the rest of the good team, the team can't win the finals. And, nobody blamed LeBron for that. So why are they blaming Karl-Anthony Towns for this, not having a great team as it is, and then just taking everything away from a great player that Cat is. He doesn't really have a team around him.
It's a lazy comparison.
Which is unfortunate.
It's lazy because people don't really care about Minnesota. So they're like, oh, Cat, he seems like a good player. Oh, but the Timberwolves are never good, so Cat's just a stat hunter. That's, not like a stat hunter like Russ has been, but it's like, oh, Cat is a good stat line, but he's not a leader. He can't carry the team. And it's like, what does that even mean? It's the NBA. Look at LeBron this year. People are making excuses for LeBron and for how he's been and how this team has been played, because there are people coming into the year saying LeBron was going to be a 3 seed, a 2 seed. He was going to challenge the Warriors. People were saying this, and they didn't. Nobody talked about how LeBron couldn't carry the team. They talked about, how they made excuse for him. And I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't have some things he can say, hey, look, this team wasn't very good. But I mean, this Timberwolves team, if you take Cat away from them, and you right now where they're all banged up, and then you take LeBron away from the Lakers, those two teams are about the same. They're not much one's not much better than the other. You know, the injured Wolves versus the LeBronless, the Cat and injureless Wolves versus the LeBronless Lakers. And the point is, it's the same people who are ripping Cat for not carrying the team are the same people making excuses for LeBron, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, there's plenty of things that you can say. I think the Lakers have gone through their share of injuries as well. I don't think they were a great team as it was. Lonzo, I've never been high on Lonzo, but
both teams, when healthy, I think we're probably going to be about the same, which would be competing for a 7 or 8 seed.
Exactly. So it's fair to say that Cat hasn't. I mean, Cat's done so much for this team. It's hard to say that he's done anything wrong. He did lay an egg in the playoffs last year, sure, but
they never game planned for him anyways. And
it was such a weird series as it was.
Is it weird that Tibbs being fired made Cat come out of his shell? Because I think that there's not a coincidence there.
Yeah, it's very fair to say.
Because I don't know, just with the way the game planning was last year for Cat, just kind of having, especially in the playoffs, when it was just Cat stand out in the corner. And then Charles Barkley and Shaq are ripping him on TV like, get in the post. And it's like, well, they don't want, that's just been annoying. But the Cat's not perfect, though. I will end on that. I mean, Cat, his defense can be spotty at times, but is well improved from what it was a couple years ago, heck, even last season at this time. And he does sometimes still get into foul trouble early on occasion and jaw at the refs, and that kind of, personally, the jawing at the refs just annoys me. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, I understand making your case, but every single time, having to constantly get at the ref, I think is annoying. But still, Cat's not a perfect player, but he's darn near one of the best big men in the game, and at times he challenges Anthony Davis as one of the best big men in the West.
Oh yeah, at times definitely, and I think Anthony Davis has been put in a situation where the Pelicans are kind of the same way. They're not really a competing team, and so Anthony Davis, he still is a very much more fan favorite, it seems, than Karl-Anthony Towns from a nationwide fan perspective. And I don't know what that is, because they both went to the same school. It's just, I don't know, I don't know what it is.
One, I think Anthony Davis is a lot more out there with media, like he does the Nike commercials. And I think Cat does Cat's done a couple commercials, or he's done Gatorade and stuff like that. But he hasn't he's been in them, but he hasn't been a part of them. Like people like Chris Paul and James Harden when they watch the State Farm commercials. Cat really doesn't have that kind of thing yet. I think it was on some kid show for 5 minutes at one point. I don't even know. I saw it on Bleacher Report or something a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. But the point is, I don't think he puts himself out there, so I think it's kind of people don't look at him the same way. Plus, he plays in Minnesota. Yeah. I think that hurts his career, which is why Ja Rule might be right when he says Cat's going to leave us in 5 years.